Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Off the Board for December 2020. And today I am using this pin and actually using several pins. So we were supposed to go to our Pinterest boards and find something and do the opposite of it. So if you found a pin that was summer related, maybe do winter and such. So I don't really have a lot of things pinned that they're seasonal. I do, however, have a lot of scrapbook layouts to lift that are super colorful, and many of them have black and white photos. So what I decided to do was use those pins as my inspiration and do the exact opposite. So I am using a color photo and doing a monochromatic white layout. This is not something that I normally do, so hopefully you enjoy it. I started out with just a plain white piece of cardstock. I don't have any gesso on it or anything like that. And I am just adding some texture from, it's actually paper glaze that I was using in the beginning there, and now I have some glitter paste from Bo Bunny, and that's in sugar, so it's a clear iridescent. And the paper glaze was in white. I don't think it's called white. I think it's called something like snow or something like that. But it's the white paper glaze. And that dries super quick, so I really like that. And the stencil I was using was a stencil from Paige Evans, and it is I think it's called Flowery Background or something to that effect. She doesn't have a ton of stencils, so it should be easy to find if that's something that you're interested in. But I think you do have to buy it directly from her. So then I pulled out my box of white ephemera, stickers, chipboard. It's kind of just the catch-all for all the white things, and I do include my silver stuff in there. I do have a separate box that's metallic, but it's all like the gold and bronze and copper and rose gold stuff. So this one just has the silver and the white. So I thought I was going to use that little viewfinder reel, and then I decided I wasn't going to use it. I wanted to add the doilies because this is just a really pretty picture of my daughter in her wedding dress, and it's not the formal photo. This is at the shop when she was trying on wedding gowns. So there's nothing formal about it. Her hair's not done. You can see the whole store in the background. And then the small photo there, she is holding a sign that says, "I said yes to the dress at," and then the store name. I think it was called Trudy's. So I didn't need this to feel like a super formal background and layout because it's not the formal photos from the photographer at the wedding. It's just when we went shopping for the dress. And so I decided to use some doilies to make it feel a little more formal, but I didn't, like I said, I didn't need it to be the layout that just showcases the whole thing. This is more about her choosing the dress. So while I play around with this, let me tell you a little bit about Off the Board. There's a bunch of us playing along. We do this the last Wednesday of the month, and it is basically you choose a pin off your Pinterest board, get some inspiration from that, and create a layout based on that inspiration. So check out all of the other ladies that are down in my description box. There are a bunch of us playing along every month, and I really hope you enjoy the series. Again, check the description box for their links, and let's go ahead and see what I'm doing here. I decided to use some Hambly acetate, and it's a really old acetate piece. It was in 12 by 12, and I am just cutting up the borders of these frames and tucking them underneath the photos and coming off the side of the page. It doesn't add a lot of, well, obviously it's not adding any color, but there's a lot of visual interest and texture that it's adding, which I really like. So at the end of this layout has a ton of texture on it and a lot of different things that are, I would say, maybe slightly unexpected that you didn't really know you were going to see there. And a lot of layers. There's that Hambly piece, and you can see I'm just pulling out another piece of the acetate, and it has like all these different, I don't know if they're 3x4s, but they're all these different pieces on it that you could cut apart and use. And so I thought it would be fun to use those because, like I said, it's not adding a lot of color or anything. It's just adding details and more layers of different white things clear and white things, as the case may be in this particular instance. And then I have this round piece, and I think I'm going to use that as well. So I'm just tucking things in, kind of trying to figure out where I want them. I did tuck two tags there into the glassine bag that I used behind the large photo, and then I'm using this piece of vellum underneath the small photo to kind of mimic the glassine bag, but I wanted to use the glassine bag so that the tags could just kind of poke out from that, and I like the way that that looks, and that those tags I can do some journaling about the two different places that we went to find dresses, and about you know, just the day in general. So I thought that would be fun. And if you follow my channel, you know my daughter's been married for a couple of years now, so these photos are from, I think, 2016. Yeah, maybe summer 2016. A lot of times when I do mixed media, I will use the edge that's taped down, I'll trim it off, and I will back the layout with another color. But because I wanted this layout to stay white, I opted not to do that, and I kind of left the stenciling work so that it wasn't all the way up to a hard line of an edge. And I did mix in the glitter paste, not physically, I didn't mix them, like stir them together, but I went over some of the areas that had the paper glaze with the glitter paste so that the iridescent sheen shows up in several areas, but the majority of it is just the paper glaze. And I am actually almost out of white paper glaze, so I need to get some more of that. I really just love this stuff. It dries quick and it's so pretty and subtle on a background. So I highly recommend it if it's something that you're interested in trying out. As far as mixed media, it's so far been one of the easiest ones to use that I have come across. It took me a little bit, but I finally found the end of that twine, and then I paired it with the silver rickrack. And in order to do that, I just pull the rickrack through there, and then I use the twine to tie around the rickrack and tie a little bow in it so that the rickrack doesn't come out, but I don't have a really big knot. I have just a cute little bow at the top of the tags, and I really like how that looks. It's a little softer looking, and you probably know if you try to tie rickrack, you get like a big bulky knot, and it doesn't work very well. So this is a good way to do it if you're not really into that big knotted look and you want to use rickrack. So it works for me anyway. And then I will do my journaling off camera on those tags. There's going to be quite a bit of it. I'll probably do the front and back of both of those tags, so I'm not really going to make you sit through all of that. But like I said, I am going to talk about her decision-making process and the 2 days that we went and looked at dresses. And originally I thought my title I was going to put "She Said Yes to the Dress" because, you know, that's super popular right now with the show and all of that. But then it was really long and I didn't really like how it looked. And so I found these stickers in silver that I believe they're from Heidi Swapp, and it says "Love This." So I'm just going to have my title read "Love This Dress." I try not to follow, you know, big fads on my layouts because I'd rather have my layouts to be a little bit timeless. Now, occasionally I will put like current slang on there, but I didn't really want the layout tied to the TV show or anything like that, and so I just didn't embrace that title for my layout. I decided to go with just "Love This Dress" because that's really how she felt. You could totally tell when she tried it on, the smile on her face. You knew it was the one, and it was a really cool dress and really, really beautiful. It was, the color of the dress is called Prosecco. So the top of it is kind of got a champagne color to it, and there is actually no boning in the top of this dress. It's like you could wad the whole top of it up. It is sparkly, it's got sequins, and it's very delicate looking, but there's no boning or anything, so she had to have some alterations done to it. It was a really beautiful dress. So you see me putting down some silver washi tape there, and I did peel it into, I tore it in half, but I did that while it was on the roll, and that makes it a lot easier. I did learn that little tip from Christina Sorge over at Redefined Creative, and I like it because it doesn't have a hard edge. Well, one side of the tape has a hard edge, but the other side has a softer edge, being torn and all. But my washi tape is sticky on the top of it, probably from being rolled up so long and being an older washi tape from my stash because I don't use silver all that often. So I just used my powder tool over the top of it. I actually tested it out before I glued anything down to the paper, but I used my powder tool over the top of it to see if that would just remove the stickiness but leave the sparkly glitter effect on the washi, and it worked out really well. So that's what I ended up doing. Now these stars have some white glitter on them. I'm going to go ahead and use those in a couple of different areas, and you can see a silver piece in the upper right hand corner of the photos. That is a frame. I'm not sure where I got it from, but it's a chipboard frame and half of it was silver, so I just tucked it under with the silver half peeking out. So my 3 embellishment areas, I want to make sure they have a little bit of silver and a little bit of white glittery detailing in those 3 areas, which are the upper right of the photos, and then the bottom right between the 2 photos, and then the bottom of the title. So I am bringing in this heart, and I have a really hard time using these chipboard pieces that have a cutout in the center, like hearts and stars that are just the outline. So I try to back them with vellum just to soften whatever is coming through behind. You don't see a whole bunch of, like if you're putting it over a join of 2 pieces of paper or 2 photos or whatever, you don't see that join peeking through. So the vellum does soften that effect, and so I like that. And then I'm going to use this other little tiny star up by the title just to bring in some silver over there. And I already have the silver up by that framed area, or the frame chipboard piece, because obviously it's silver. So I'm trying to figure out where I want the center part of the heart that I popped out, because it has silver still around the edge. And I toyed with bringing it in over near the frame, but the frame really felt like enough. You can see me there kind of going back and forth. What do I do with it? And eventually I put it above the title, and I love the way that looks. So that is where it's going to stay. I'm almost out of glue in this particular bottle. You can see me shaking it periodically. I'm trying to use it up before I move on to the next one, and that is Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. I really love this glue. It comes out in a really fine line. It stays wet in the bottle, so it doesn't clog the bottle. If you lay it on its side, you can leave it open for quite a while without having it clog up or anything like that. But it dries pretty quickly once you put it on the paper, so you don't have to sit there holding things for a super long time. Now you did see my tweezers holding the 2 chipboard pieces there together, and that's because there is glitter, so anytime you put glitter with something, it doesn't hold well. So to give it its best chance, I needed to add a little bit of pressure while the glue dried. It's going to take us pretty close to the end of the layout. The close-ups are going to be coming up in just a few moments, so stick around for those. I thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I'd love for you to hit like down below and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Don't forget to check out the ladies that are linked down below. Thank you so much again. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.